morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, we welcome you back. And we are here to back another, what I call adventure with the world of science, science of creation, and unfortunately, what is created out of it and how is created out of it, and what do we do with this knowledge. We have entered a phase of understanding the work of the universe that is essential for us to understand this part, as it's part of the creation which is the creator of the man and man ignorant of his knowledge. And without it, life doesn't exist anywhere in the universe. And understanding it in full gives the key to the way everything in the universe is created, seen and unseen, and what is, which is not to us, and by seeing one, we can do and get to the other side. I explained this to a knowledge seeker once, and you understand if how one reaches this point. When I was in my final year in Queen Mary College, the teaching was very straightforward, one-to-one. I sat across the table with my professor across, and we were taught one-to-one what was on the edge of the nuclear industry and what we were supposed to know. In the last couple of lectures, Professor Leslie said to me, you're going to get two questions. Either one of them you answer, you'll get your, what do you call, the mark. And he said, you know which one you're going to get. The teaching is very straightforward. I went to the exam room, opened the paper, and it was the two questions. Whole term of studying, understanding was sitting in front of me. And it was a process of the nuclear, what we call reactor system, with many, many bits to it. And he said, can you show this position to this position, critical condition of nuclear reactor, whatever it was, to get to this result? I could not do it. But I knew this was the final. So I started from the back to the beginning. In a way, I wrote the result to the top, and I went back to reverse to the question. And I wrote in a way at the bottom, Professor Leslie, read the answer back to front. From the bottom page, come to the front, you'll get the answer. It's just because I knew from one end will go to the other, either end you start, you go back to the other side. It was huge calculus and everything else, integrations, and you have a dimension of expansion of a reactor in different dimensions, time, space, and everything else. In a way, at that time, I realized I understand fully exactly how the plasma works. You give me in the matter state, I go to its energy, and from the energy I can come back to matter. How nuclear reactors, fusion goes, and fission hands over, and seeing the reactor, this question. And this is exactly where we are in the science of man. We know one end. We haven't learned how to go to the other and what is needed to change. Part of this problem, especially in today's science of man, is the fault of Einstein. He brought deliberate assumptions as part of the work of misunderstanding the science. Energy equal whatever. if you put all assumptions and miscalculations he did to write this down to get to this point to make himself famous, has brought the same pattern. The science of today does not understand where the energy is, where the mass is, and where the speed is. You don't need to change much. It's just you have to understand has nothing to do with the speed of light. It's a connection between the energy and mass. If Einstein would have not made such a stupid mistake, which has brought the science backwards by decades, and we cannot get into the head of our scientists that speed has nothing to do with, if you understand the true dimension of energy and mass. You consider gravity, which he ignored. You consider what we call dimension of the expansion of the what we call the energy. He ignored, and everything else in a way goes back to what it is, what we explain energy, magnetic field in motion. And then when you stop it, the motion of it, then you have gravity. You get solid state, you get mass. And as simple as that, but you have to bring every other questions into it. And this is where the world of science today, most of our geniuses are hitting the block. All you have to do is take out this stupid assumption of what Einstein did and then put it in front of a 2-year-old child, explain to them the energy and explain to them gravity and the mass, and then you are, what's got to do with the light? But if you plan something to do, it's like pi 3.14 blah blah blah. Whatever you do, you have that what we call factor into it, so it works out to be mc squared and the rest of it. And this is where most of us as knowledge seekers have to become aware of how misguided we have become. And because one ignorant Jewish guy in the name of Einstein and the rest have brought him to be very big because they wanted to have somebody equal somewhere else. And then we saw the British repeated with the same ignorant with Stephen Hawking going through the same thing. Ignorant people, people who have no knowledge of creation, have become the symbol of science. As I said, I was talking to a lawyer very recently. If the world of science did what NASA is trying to do with Van Braun, deleting his name and his work from most of the works in the background, they cannot delete some of it, that he became the father of space of United States, then we get these two off the record, and then we start with a new science of our children in the schools understand the relationship between the magnetic field and the mass. Nothing to do with the light. And then if we understand that mass and its energy inertia has in a lot to do with the expansion of the magnetic field, then we understand everything to do with the world of creation. In a way, the easiest way for you to understand, to taste the plasma, to understand how it behaves, give it the temperature, give it a bit of pressure, is get a bowl of jelly. Make not a running jelly, but a better tough jelly, and put it in your mouth and squeeze it. See how you feel. If the energy and the taste is in the dimension and this expression of the emotion with some scent or whatever, you enjoy this pressure and the taste of a strawberry, for example. Squeeze a bit harder. See where it expands, where you feel the pressure in your mouth. And then you understand, oh, this place has like a mass. Then, if you understood this, you come to understand the most amazing thing about the world of creation. If you go back to past 2 or 3 days of teaching, weeks of teaching, I speak about frequency and the pulse, and how you bring a plasma into condition of the wave, magnetic field, and creation of the fields. Is it too hard for you to understand how creature was and how creator is? Very simple. Get the brain of the man, add a frequency and a pulse to it. It's a plasma. It gives you emotion. It gives you expression. It converts into motion. And in a way, if you want to understand the real true essence of the understanding of the work of the what we call creation as a plasma, as a world of creation of magnetic fields, you have it in front of you. A little bit hard jelly, and you hammer it with a heartbeat. What does it create? Magnetic field, emotion, life. Then you understand man has not even understood the simplest things about his own creation, let alone tries to explain the anomalies about everything else. You get excited, you run, your heartbeat goes up, pulse increases, which is that pulse. Fear makes you run. Love makes you run. You convert the energy of the emotion into motion, physicality. Does it have anything to do with the speed? Or is it just a conversion of magnetic fields, which you call it emotion, which came from the pulse on a jelly substance, which you put in your mouth, but it's now is your brain, and what do you get? Mismatch it where the inside pulses, physical condition is higher than the outside, you get the brain hemorrhage. You create new magnetic fields faster, which in the conversion to matter blows up the energy of the cell of the body of the brain of the man. Paralysis. Physicality damage. Conversion of the energy cannot be converted into mass in the physical dimension of the run, or conversion of the emotion gives you burning of the brain cells, and as simple as that. Volcanic eruption from the center of the universe gives the hemorrhage to the man who does not understand it. There is no difference. Without the pulse, there is no life. There is no condition to create. You come across your lover and you want to be with, and the heartbeat goes up and the brain comes in a different pulse emotion. The same heartbeat creates love, creates attention, creates every other emotion, where the same heartbeat in a different, what we call pulse, created the running, the fear, and the rest. Fraction of the seconds in the change of the pulse, in the change of the frequency, creates different reaction in physical dimension of the man, emotion wise and physical wise. How hard is for the man to understand the difference between the energy and mass? And do we need a stupid man like Einstein to put such a thing on? That, as we say in Farsi, the beautiful say, it takes one crazy man to drop a stone in a water well, and it takes 40 intelligent men to find a way to get it out. And we are 40 intelligent men, which the rest of humanity, to sort out one crazy man coming up with this formula. And then if you understand this, and you can convert one back to the other, knowing where you are, what is the end products, and understanding where you started, and then it comes to a very simple solution. It's back to the exam room. The teacher gives you the beginning and the end, and he says, get from there to there, because you know how you do. After pages and pages of formula, you still put it down because you know the way. And this is where our science has got stuck. Our people don't see from one end to another because they only see one end, and one stupid man has stuck it to that point, has put a string attached to their leg and nailed it to a starting point. As I said very recently in a meeting, if, and what we've seen in the past 2.5 years with a bunch of ignorance, criminals creating mayhem, killing tens of thousands, and stopping the humanity to progress, we've seen the same thing slaughtering the mankind in the science by one man, and they're both Jewish. Criminality on the name of a religion, in science and in race. Now you understand the process where we have made a mistake, where we have to understand when you have this amazing equation. The stupid guy said E is equal to MC squared. Just throw it into the bin and understand very easy. Energy is equal to mass. Depends if you take it as magnetic field in motion or taking it the magnetic field in a stationary condition. Inertia attached to nothing but itself. If you squeeze the energy, you get a wave, which has a physicality, which is the mass. What's got to do with the light? Because you have not understood everything else. A magician has fooled you. If you understand this point, if you understand how easily energy, which is in plasma condition, under condition of a pulse, creates the emotion, which gives you a condition of a mass, then you understand only you need two factors. One, a constant, which is the initial, the total energy of itself, and then what strength field this energy reaches to another point in respect to the condition of. When a man becomes a man of space and universes, you come to understand the masses are different in a mass matter condition or in a mass energy condition. The mass energy condition, it depends on the process of the creation of the creator, where the mass as we have, and we say the mass is constant in every point in the universe, is not the same in every point in the unicos. Because in the unicos, the relevant energy is the energy from the magnetic field in motion of the creator, not out of the interaction of. Because the condition is dictated in that universe by the unicos magnetic field strength. In a way, if we understand it, energy, as we call it in this universe, is conditioned to the universal mass energy, not unicos mass energy. And once the world of science understands this, man finds the key to travel across universes, let alone universe. In a way, the energy plasma condition created for this universe is conditioned in the total condition of other universes, plus the energy which comes from the center, which we call the original creator. So our energy, which is the mass plasma of the totality itself, is product of another interaction. In a way, that energy is the mass, and the mass we get is the weight condition of the location of the universe in that unicos. Once man understands this and understands how to connect it, allows man to travel in the unicos at the speed of the travel in the universes, with the addition and understanding the condition of manifestation in that inertial position in the universe. You also what we created in Beijing in May. With small changes, we would have produced different material because we changed the condition of the environment mass. This is where the problem sits. This is where the world of science has to move on. And once we understand, nothing in the universe can be magic. It's just finding which part between the head and the tail in the equation of conformation we set. It's very simple. When you understand, in a condition of plasma, in a condition of matter, what affects what and what you have to calculate, everything else becomes simple. In the matter state, you call it the pressure, the temperature. In the energy state, you call it the magnetic field strength. The condition and composition of the fields, which leads to manifestation of the mass. As I said last week, you see a flat, waveless water of the ocean. Has no manifestation and is constant. And there it comes, somebody pushes it, a boat passes, a wind comes, and then pushes the mass in one point. And what you get is the waves that they can destruct, become tsunami and the rest of it. What pressure you put in one place shows itself as a mass in another place, which in the interaction of the masses create massive damage. The same applies to the wind, the same applies to the energy, where its magnetic field in motion in the life of the man is the wind in motion. Then, when you understand this, nothing in universe is unique. Nothing in universe is any different than the working, understanding, the condition of the pulse, the condition of the frequency, the condition of the interaction of what pressure applied in a magnetic field, condition field strength, which creates a matter state in the matter state. Energy of an atom and how it manifests itself as atomic energy. One is yin and one is yang, and they are interconnected. And where the separation has come is the lack of understanding of the knowledge of creation by man. Exactly as has been how and where magnetic field of the earth changes from gravity going in from the South Pole and coming in the North Pole. How does it change? It doesn't change. It's the same thing. Body of the planet is solid and the field rotates. But for a man, one is North Pole and one is South Pole. In fact, it's the same thing with the creation of the universe. It's the same thing with the creation of the plasma. It's the same structure in the atomic structure, magnetic field of electron, proton, and everything else. If world of science, the way you knowledge seekers understand, works in a way of the connection of magnetic fields and understanding when the second interaction of the environment leads to mass, then the whole equation of the creation is complete. One side, magnetic field strength changes in 2 dimensions in reference to the original field strength of the creator, which is hydrogen. And then on the other side, because of the interaction of the same fields coming from 2 different directions, by interaction with the field of the other part of the universe, one slightly is different than the other, you create one to be the inertial, which is the lower but fixed, then to the one which is the higher, you create that wave which comes like a resistance of the beach to the water coming in, forcing creation of a wave, then you create mass. But that mass is part of the plasma itself. That mass was the emotion that you run. That mass was the shorter of the breath when you hug, you cuddle and kiss your lover. One created a fear of run, one creates an emotion of a cuddle and transfer of energy as love. And then if you can't handle it, it becomes your brain stroke and the rest of it, because now the energy mass of the fields in the pulses of the blood has to interact. If we redefine, if we explain the way how simple it is, now give this key to a child which just starts education and understands the true meaning of the mass and energy, you think the humanity in science will be at this point? I was in a meeting this morning explaining to someone of the science of nuclear, and I explained in a very simple way. The knowledge humanity has at the age of quantum and nuclear and whatever, compared to the knowledge which you have, knowledge seekers, the science of the plasma, GANs and the rest of it, is so insignificant, the present knowledge, that it will not even be counted. And the only reason is you start working with the energy, with the understanding and the work of the creator, not with the dimension of the man for centuries moving from the Stone Age to Iron Age and the God knows now nuclear age, and then the destruction of the man, because it's worthwhile for some people to keep man in a condition of ignorance, because the other side, they cannot add anything from it to confirm their position and power. I made man in the image of myself because I have no interaction with the pulses of the creation. Where I made man in the image of myself, where in fact is the image of the creator. The only thing is man has added the emotion of greed, war, killing and the rest to it. The image is mine, but the face is fake. Created energy in motion, magnetic field in motion. For what reason? To show the beauty of mind. But when it falls in the hand of the wrong fields and condition of the matter, becomes tsunami, hurricanes and the rest of it. And that's what man is in the dimension of creation. That hurricane, that tsunami, which creates mayhem for the world and beauty of the water, which created nothing but life. If we understand this and we bring a new science in balance, that where the energy in the plasma condition and energy in the matter condition is energy of an atom or atomic energy, and we understand this and we connect it to each other, man will live in the oyster of the creation of the universe and unicos. All it needs to do is to understand which pressure, which field, what strength, what condition, at what position in time. which brings the emotion to create that condition in that given time. Now you understand the whole science of creation is the creator of time, but itself is conditioned on the emotion and the field strength of the motion of an field's strength of a given condition. Mass is the bottom end, or the, in a way, extreme end, opposite to the energy, when one is not existing and the other one is prevailing more than the other. Once we understand this, we can transfer energies into any masses and any masses into energy, completing the cycle of what we call creation. If knowledge seekers understand this, if those who come across the understanding of the knowledge of the energy as magnetic field in motion in the future, and be able to manipulate it by interacting the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh dimension into it, then you understand, we understand both the world of the creation and dimension of the matter created. You have to consider expansion of time. You have to consider expansion of the pressure. You have to consider the expansion of the temperature. You have to consider the expansion of the time in all three dimensions. You have to consider every other thing which can be part of and don't ignore, which becomes the integrated, what we call field strength and condition and a position and time. Then you understand the process. I explained to you in a very simple way how we try to get from one equation to another, and the process of understanding, going through, God knows, maybe 30, 40, 50 lines of explanation. In this equation, when we sat down with Professor Leslie, it was very simple. I said to him, you know, Professor Leslie, you are not considering the creator of it. Where is the magnetic field which creates this condition? He said, this doesn't apply. I said, no, it applies in every way, because without it, we don't have this. What's the integration of the factor of 5 and 6 and 7, the time, the expansion, the heat, and everything else, when you don't consider the mother, the creator, the initiator? We consider everything, what and how it manifests itself in the matter state, but we don't consider what created it. And this is where our science has stopped. And now everything which we don't understand in the matter state has baffled our scientists. We have to train ourselves on the future generation to understand the true essence of the energy as a magnetic field. And then we understand we can create a magnet of anything at any point and any strength we need. Past few weeks, I laugh. And it makes me wonder in how man, if they had the knowledge of what we teach in Keshe Foundation, understanding the process of the plasma energy as a magnetic field in motion, half of the industries in Europe and in Japan and America, which now is stuck for what? Small magnets, which are produced specifically in China. China has got hold of the world of automation by not releasing rare earth materials with their specific magnetic fields. If you were knowledge seekers, you know how to produce, as we did in May in China, the Rare earth materials which carry a specific magnetic field strength, which you can create in the position of the production. Goodbye, China. You can put blockages as much as you like. I make a better, precise magnet myself when I make the material. And the moment man has to mine, then he has to refine, and then he has to add a condition of field strength to it to become a specific job magnet. Where with the new plasma technology, when you understand how to interact the fields of, you create that matter magnetic field at the point of inception, creation of the matter. Then why do we give you these cosmic ray balls? Hold them, those of you who have two of them, and then create different emotion. Give with one hand and take with the other. Transfer the energy, and then you understand magnetic field emotion. See what emotion it creates in your body and your soul. They're not the games. These are the tools of the conformation of energy, magnetic field emotion. And then your brain is that beach, and the field energy and the tsunami which manifests itself as a loving whoosh of the wave on the beach, or a splash that becomes the destroyer of everything else. I always said my biggest wish for the world of science of present generation is that we could turn the clock back and wipe the name of Einstein from everything in the world of science, and teach man how everything works in the true essence of it. If you go back to the work of Da Vinci, when he explains the details, intricacy of the physics, of chemistry, of biology, of, he understood. He understood the totality. He understood how to convert one to another. And then, if we come forward with what he understood and wipe out the name of Einstein from the world of science, you or children will become the scientists of the space in no time. You feel the essence of how physical energy, chemistry creates condition of life, where he could understand the atomic structure and he could see the reaction in the muscle tissues of the man, with emotion, energy added to it. Next time, when you are with your child, with your lover, with your wife, with your husband, with your dog, with your cat, observe your emotion and how your emotion changes. And then at that point, try to understand the heartbeat in your body, the pulses. And then you will understand fully what the world of creation, mass, energy are connected. You caress the cat lovingly, and the cat suddenly pushes something or you scratches you, and the same love changes to force of anger and throwing the cat or punishing the cat. The mass of the cat hasn't changed. The mass of the human being hasn't changed. Magnetic field emotion receive different pulses. One become anger and one is a stroke of love. One is the matter energy of the emotion, and one is energy of the matter in anger. There is no difference. And the whole world of science is connected, is part of, and it's the totality of Once the man understands the pressures of the magnetic field, the strength, and the condition of the pulses and the frequencies and everything else which lives in the world of creation. I made man in the image of myself, but I did not give the man the pulses of me. And man has made the mess in the frequency of the matter state, creation of his matter state of physicality of the body of the man. The image of me is the soul of the man, without the factor of the pressures, without the factor of the emotion of the pulses, which created by the dimension of the soul of physicality, which is the heartbeat of the man. One is the essence, and one is the cause. And then we see the effect. And one trying to match in the dimension of what we call field the strength to be of the soul of the creator's strength field, creates a man which is always short, can never reach, and then for him to reach that point, gets a man to kill, to destroy, and the wars and the rest of it. Isn't it true that what we eat, we kill to eat, and everything else is to get our soul of physicality to the dimension of the field, the strength of our soul, that we become equal to, then become balance of, then become part of the bigger. That shortage of trying to reach that balance of the soul leads man to kill. But if we can give that energy to the soul of the man, does man need the dimension of physicality to kill for? The one which he tries to achieve in the dimension of physicality to match his soul of physicality to the soul of the creator, which is the reflection of it, has made man to kill. What you don't have, you steal. But we steal life. We steal other lives to confirm the condition of physicality can be equal or the same as, pretending to be, and then not succeeding, becoming the soul on its own to become part of back again that drop in the ocean of the life of the creation. Conversion of one to another, energy to mass, and the mass in its messy job creates a condition for it to become back to the energy of the what we call the drop back in the ocean of the life of the creator. This is the purpose. That's why now you might understand why we're promoting these communication units. Because through it, connection with it, what we create, we balance, we give energy that man does not need to kill to receive across this planet. Then man will move on. Then man has time to understand itself. As I said very recently in a meeting, is fashionable. We become vegetarian not to kill the animals. It'll become very fashionable very soon to become what we call cosmic ray guy or plasmatic guy, that not only I don't even kill the vegetables, I take the energy from the universe, so I'm plasmatic, not vegetarian. I don't kill. I follow the philosophy, understanding the knowledge of the creation through the field, the strength of the creator, and not destroying another package for me to survive. We're all thieves. We're all got our hand to the rim in the blood of the creation because we never understood that we do not need the dimension of physicality. Kill for. But we appreciate, we understand the dimension of physicality was for the joy of being there, not the joy of killing to be there. I wish in the past few weeks and months how much if we bring the what we call the aliens of the living in this planet and see how us as people will learn from them. They don't kill, they have no need to destroy, there is no mouth and there is no stomach to feed, but to absorb the energy and convert the energy into mass to manifest themselves in the dimension of physicality of the man, for man to see. If the others have reached this level of understanding in the universe, what is wrong with man that does not want to understand? The beauty of it is when you reach that point, you don't need to be a king. You don't need to be the top man. You are one of the men. And then you understand the beauty of totality, because it's not a competition, it's a coexistence that you want to coexist and enjoy the beauty of the fields of the others, because every interaction and pulse only creates another life when it comes across another field dimension inertia. We are all isotopes of the soul of the Creator. I made man in the image of myself in the dimension of soul, and him in respect to the field inertia of his environment manifests itself, conducts itself, and lives itself according to time, place, and position and emotion. So we are in soul the essence of it. That drop which came from the cup and the spoon, which came from the ocean of the soul of the Creator, but in interacting with other fields which come from another part of the same impression and interaction of the others, and the condition of physicality of the magnetic field inertia of the earth has created me in the dimension of physicality. In essence, in soul, I am that drop from the soul, from the cup of the life of the Creator. But on the other hand, my physicality is connected with interaction of many others. I have to find a solution for it to be equal as the energy which I receive from the Creator, and not the effect which is created, the shortfall that is made my hand red with blood of killing. The faster we manage to develop and deliver these, what we call again with the carrot and the stick, as a coin with jewel out across this planet, the faster will bring an end to the cycle of destruction, and in a way elevating the soul of the man, that no man needs to do anything to kill and destroy. We reach back to the state of Mitra. We have no reason to kill. We have no greed to be higher, as we are all equal and enjoy being in that position. We are not communist, but we understand each one of us has a beauty of adding to the totality. We talk good because we have the essence of, and with it, we do good. And we go back to the essence of Mitra and Zarashta, which is the essence, the beauty of the existence of the Creator. That is rich, he doesn't have the greed to think bad, to achieve, to receive, to be higher. He doesn't do and he doesn't think wrong, because he's a possessor of everything. And once man reaches that point that I am complete within myself, with the energy fields of the Creator, then man reaches a point of maturity to understand. The dimension of physicality is to see, to enjoy the pleasure of his creation, not to destroy and kill what is created for me to become, to maybe reach the level of what already am in the dimension of the soul of the man. Once our scientists understand this, once humanity, which become the scientists of the creation, understand this, one will realize that man is dimension of physicality, is beautiful of his soul. It's man who has to appreciate the beauty of his own existence and understand the connection of the energy of the Creator and the physicality dimension of existence. then no magician will be 3I or 2R or to stupidity of the man with no intelligence. That's called the greed. And then man will complete itself. Understand and try to throw the what he calls C square away and try to understand what is connection, energy as magnetic field in motion, which has no conditional environment, which is the plasma of the creator, and the condition of the energy of the matter state. And then energy is equal to mass, where energy is magnetic field in motion, and then the mass is interaction of the same with the inertia of its time, place, and position. Then you don't need to make assumptions and make a fool of yourself and coming up with another position to create yourself another God and prophet and the rest. Once you understand, and once you stand on your leg, you can jump, leap, and do everything else because you understood the beauty of having legs and understanding how to use it to the benefit of the physicality. If you run that physicality to the wall and bash yourself to it, it shows you have not understood the essence of the creation. Try to bring about a total understanding of the science of the creation. Then you don't need to make no assumptions. Be it about the speed, be it about emotion, be it about every other thing which you have made assumptions to confirm your existence. We are all lovers, which we have missed the path to our lover. The one who loves us, which is the creator. And we pretend to be the false lovers in just simply we have not understood the essence of the transfer of the energy from creator to us. You don't need no prophets, you don't need no gurus as you become the teacher of yourself. And then you understand, as a teacher does, how to teach his physicality to be, in a way, replication of the soul of the creator. Ask yourself, when you see these pictures of they show you of the aliens, what is their mouth? They don't need to consume, as they take what they need, what's available in the environment to live. Please understand the teaching of today. Understand the difference between the mass and energy, and understand they are connected with it. Then you are more intelligent than the most advanced scientist in CERN and every other part of the nuclear industry and plasma technology of this planet. We go for a break, we come back, and I hope I open your eyes into the dimension of understanding how you are part of the soul of the creator. And it's only you who denies the beauty of enjoying it.